Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is April. As you all know, my spirits and I together, we are called Australia Astounded. Welcome to the Conspiritsees podcast. So I'm here to just kind of talk a little bit about the JFK reading I did back in December of 2023. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from that. It was quite interesting. I've had some people message me on the gram as well. And something was brought to my attention fairly recently about what my spirits had shown me about JFK and what really happened that day he was assassinated. And what my spirits were very specific about was that there was a fatal shot from someone inside the car. And it was like I saw a jacket kind of opening from the side and someone shot him. And it was someone that was in the front seat. And although that sounds very like blindsidingly wild, like everyone's like, really, April, like there was a shot from the trees. Yes, I believe that that is true. But the fatal shot that actually hit him was someone inside the car. And that's what my spirit showed me. And they never dropped it. So for those that tuned in, actually got back to me. As more than one person on the gram said that they had watched. And it came out, and I will tell you the name of this Netflix documentary on what really happened with the assassination of JFK. It actually came out in February of 2024, this year, actually. So it's February 28th of 2024. It's called American Conspiracies, Octopus Murders. And it's kind of interesting because, again, I did this live reading in early December of 2023, not knowing what I was seeing. And no matter what people have told me, is saying, no, April, that he was shot from someone, someone shot him that was outside of the car. Why would there be someone in those black suits that work for the president? Why would anyone think for 1 second that they would turn on the United States president and shoot him? Well, they did. And what's interesting, if you watch the American Conspiracies Octopus Murders, again, that came out February of this year, February 28th of 2024, pay attention to episode 3, 49 minutes in. This was brought to my attention, but by not one person, but a second person as well, who actually saw it and said it matched precisely what I predicted about what really happened to JFK that day. So I feel shocked because that detail was so specific. And it's kind of interesting because this particular episode of the American Conspiracies Octopus Murders, I had to see it for myself, and so did my co-hosts. We were like, we have to see this. So we like walked ourselves through this, and we're like, no fucking way. It's exactly, if you guys tune into that episode of the JFK live reading that I did, you can hear me clearly describing exactly what happened in that car. And no one really wants to believe in their heart of hearts that the men in the suits, like these, I don't know what you want to call them. Are they the private? What are they called?
I don't know. They're just men in black.
Men in,
you want to call them.
Yeah, the men in the suits. Whatever turn, especially if you're getting a paycheck from the United States government, would actually turn on their own president. But they did. So, and the fatal shot was coming from that car, and it was coming from a man that had the coat, and he flipped the coat open, and then he just fired, and that was the fatal shot to the head. And that's what this episode was showing. Episode 3, 39 minutes in, if you guys want to check that out and compare notes. Listen to the podcast that I did on JFK. Listen to it all the way through. And if you can, and then take a gander and watch this, and it will blow your fucking mind. It's like, no freaking way. And what's really interesting is what this Netflix episode documentary on American Conspiracies Octopus Murders was talking about. They were saying that the media was shown one doctored up video. That's what they were showing to the American people. but the actual one that was undoctored shows the smoke and the blowing up, like a fire going off. You can actually see the bullet in slow motion. It's so eerie coming from the inside of that car. And that was the fatal shot that hit JFK that day. And it was one of the men in the black suits that was actually, I think he was driving. And they slow it down, and it's just like, it just takes your breath away, because you're like, oh, it's such an eerie feeling. And that's the original video. So it makes sense why this was explained in full detail, exactly like how he described it, Mr. JFK. And also what was interesting in that episode, for those that have tuned in already, thank you. But for those that have not, you may want to check that out, because JFK was actually, his spirit was actually very much injecting information about what's currently going on in the United States government, his concerns, the things that he was describing and talking about. In early of 2023, I did talk a lot about JFK, saying, don't be surprised if there's a Kennedy that comes into office for the next presidency. And everyone was like, yeah, right, April, you're crazy. What are you talking about? Next thing you know, JFK's nephew is running, and he's a Capricorn with a Cancer moon. I looked at his natal chart. It makes perfect sense, because if you got a Cancer moon, speaks of your ancestors. So he's really being backed up in a lot of protection here to fulfill this destiny that was snatched from Mr. JFK, because I feel like he was meant to fulfill that position, to complete something, and he was there that time around to stop something, and it gets into full detail of that. I don't want to get into it, because I want you guys to take a listen, but if you guys get a chance, please check it out. Check out that Netflix episode. Tune in. If you guys have any questions or feedback, feel free to reach out to me on the gram. Again, if you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can check me out at austriaastoundance.net, or check me out on Instagram at austriaastoundance. Thank you so much.